So I watched the live action Avatar, The Last Airbender, and after some retrospective thought, I've come to the conclusion that it's mid, just mid. But why is it so mid? And why are some people up in arms about this show? Well, let me explain. So I want to get out of the way the things that make the show good. I really liked the beginning first two episodes. It actually felt like a good start to the story, condensed like the anime or cartoon really well. What I did like was the bending looked sick. It looked so good. Like compared to the M Night Shyamalama Ding Dong mess that we had to deal with years ago, the bending was just like it looked good. It was just flashy, had the weight of all the attacks, and the martial arts look sick too. So like the martial arts coming in with like a kick, you're kicking like these water or like kicking like rocks, like bending the rocks, summoning the rocks, and just going like rock gatling, like it all looked pretty sick. Like the martial arts mixed in with the CGI effects or whatever and the bending, it flowed really well. And you know, if you just turn your brain off, enjoy the sights and enjoy the scenery, it's fun. Like the settings and the scenes and the props, whatever they use, like or the CGI backgrounds, like it looked nice. It looked really nice. And the characters, I think the casting was pretty decent. So Aang, he grew on me pretty decent. Like Sokka also grew on me. Like all the characters, like you have an attachment to the OG characters and you can't really like, forget about that or replace that. But the actors I think did a good job of what they were given in the script. So I'll give the acting and some of the characters like an okay. Like Iroh is actually Iroh in the show. He's one of the best parts in my opinion. But as the show goes on, you see some discrepancies in quality, where the writing suffers, the dialogue kind of stupid, too exposition-y, and things are just missing that were in the original animated series that you wish were in the live action. What I like to compare it to is kind of like a buffet, where we don't get to choose what to eat, but instead, multiple different strangers pick our food. So, in the beginning, we get some like gourmet shit, like lobster and the mandarin crab legs, you know what I mean? But in the middle, the people who were giving out the food just randomly changed. And now they're giving us like dried out rice and like nasty slimy noodles. And then they change again. And we get like gourmet shit one more time before they leave, and we're left with mediocre like dessert and a mediocre finale. The analogy here is that the writers changed throughout these episodes, where episode 1 and 6 were written by the original creators, and the rest by other people. And of course, 1 and 6 were the best episodes, giving us the best food to munch on. I especially love episode 6 and what they did with Zuko and the 41st Division. That was super dope. It gave big impact on Zuko's character in the beginning, because we don't really get to see Zuko, the greatest redemption story of all time, by the first book, right? Like that happens like way down the line. But in a TV series where you kind of want to condense things, it felt really nice to see that like good Zuko, like the goodness in Zuko that Iroh sees. Honestly, if you've never seen Avatar and turn off your brain and just watch it like a normie and not overanalyze the show, it's actually pretty good. But I just can't. There are some things I need to talk about and tell you why the show is mid, at least in my opinion. For one, the show is missing some of that humor and fun from the original. I watched the animated version again just to remind myself of what the original source material was like. And a big difference was that the animated version was just more fun. The banter and character interactions felt more fluid, and character foils like between Sokka and Katara was just much better done in the animated series. Another thing in the animated series is certain characters are a little bit different and it gives them more depth. For example, Katara is a savage. She is prone to getting angry and lashing out. Like in the first episode in the animated version, she snaps at Sokka for being a sexist bigot and being a dick, and destroys like icebergs left and right without noticing. But in the live action, she's like meek, timid, and just gets powerful and becomes a master, like out of nowhere. Like, where's that character development? And you could have just added maybe a couple scenes here and there, one or two scenes of like her going like Hulk mode, like, unhinged anger, seeing her crazy power, but we don't really get those big impactful moments with characters. In the animated series, Katara learns to control her anger and emotions and use it as a fuel for her bending. And she then teaches Aang how to waterbend. And that's another thing. It's book one water, where the whole point is that Aang learns waterbending. But Aang never learns waterbending. Like, really? Really? Like, what the hell? Can I at least get a montage? Like, give me like a freaking 1 minute montage of them waterbending, like learning waterbending. Why couldn't they just do like a quick montage? Like, give me a little bit of Aang waterbending, because I thought that was the whole point. But I don't know. That is just something that comes from watching the animated series and the live action, comparing the two. And we're always gonna compare the two. And that's why people are always gonna be like, this is mid because it's never gonna live up to the expectations of the GOAT, which is the animated version. So no matter what you say, no matter what you do, people are gonna complain about how it doesn't live up to the animated series, automatically making it mid. Another horrible thing in the show is that they tried so hard to cram so much in one episode. Back to the buffet analogy. It's like some guy chose to stuff our plates with 5 different foods, but each one never gets to shine because there was either too little of it, or because it was paired with all these other foods that just doesn't go well together. So why do multiple things bad when you can do one thing good? Yeah, it suffers from overcrowding episodes with too many plot points that you follow, where you jump from here and there and here too quickly, and then there's so much exposition because you're just going so quickly that you're gonna have to like exposition dump, blah blah blah, and then some of the dialogue is just like so plain and flat, and you're just like just get on to the next plot point. Like, I don't really care, So yeah, it does suffer from a little bit of cramming too much in one episode. And I get it. It's trying to adapt 20 episodes of an animated series, like an animated series season, into 8 episodes. So it is tough. But like I said, why do multiple things bad when you can do one thing good? Why not just go full send and just X out a bunch of stuff and just focus on the iconic ones? Like the Blue Spirit episode, Zuko episode with the Blue Spirit. That was sick. I don't know, you can pick and choose a bunch of different episodes in season 1 that were iconic, and just choose those iconic ones to try to remake or redo, and don't try to make too many episodes. One more thing I want to talk about is the bad writing at points, the finale in particular. So in the last episode, the Moon Spirit is killed, and of course Aang goes into Super Godzilla mode and destroys all the ships, right? But the way they did the death of the Moon Spirit really ticked me off. Like, bruh, Sokka and Yue were chilling in the bush, just waiting for Zhao to kill the Moon Spirit. Like, what? And then Aang comes, and they pull him into the bush too, and now they all just chill, waiting for Zhao to kill the Moon Spirit. Why didn't Yue know where the Moon Spirit is? Why don't they just stand in front of it and stop Zhao? Like, in the animated series, they weren't even there until Zhao already had the Moon Spirit in his hands. It just doesn't make sense, right? So there was a bunch of these questionable writing choices all over the place that just didn't really make much sense. It's like, why would these characters do this? Why like, it literally boggles my mind, some decisions that these characters do and the writing decisions. It just doesn't make sense. And so with all these things combined with some shoddy writing decisions, cramming episodes with too much stuff, and questionable changes, like changing character arcs and changing like key points in the story, like Aang learning waterbending, and the fact that you could never live up to the expectations of the animated series, it's just too good. The live action was doomed to be mid in the first place, and it is mid. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys like and subscribe, leave a comment. I'll see you next time. Peace.